Hello, everyone. Welcome to West Seattle Stadium, tonight's home of the Seattle Cascades mixed roster. We are playing Ellipsis tonight from Australia, looking to have a good matchup tonight. You should know my voice by now. I'm Molly McKeon.
And I'm Tommy Lee.
We're stoked to be here. Kind of like a lead up into a tournament coming up this weekend. Looking forward to seeing what both these teams can do. Lots of good players to watch on both sides. For Australia, we have Pete Ely, we have Cat Phillips, and we got Tom Chulett. Definitely players that you're going to see on both sides of this, both offense and defense. Looking to see what Ellipsis can do against this U.S. squad.
Molly, I'm really excited for this game because, as you know, as a player in the U.S., sometimes you just play the same teams over and over and over again. And for me, it's really exciting as a player to see Ellipsis come, bring in their roster here, traveling a really long way to get some good ultimate. I am very excited for this game.
Couldn't agree more with you. It's always nice to see different styles of play. Not everyone plays the exact same, and I definitely agree with you. I end up playing the same teams over and over again, so it's nice to get some different matchups, especially ones that may not be on film as much, or at least as complete as they are. As you can see, folks, Cascade starting on defense. Tom Chulett bringing the disc into the brick mark. And Ellipsis is starting out in a vert stack. Will Coffin starting guarding the ISO. Did a good job stopping that cut. Got Lachlan with the disc now. Swings it over to Griffiths. Finding Phillips. Great jab cut by Andrews. He's got El Salam on him, though. And goes up just a little bit too early. El Salam able to go up at the right time, get the D. Moves it over to Casio. Casio has Garrity coming under with Cat Phillips right on her back and ends up getting a run through D. Excellent defense by Phillips there. Australia came to play. They came a far way. They're not just going to roll over, though. They're here to play.
Cat Phillips is fast.
Yep. Hashtag Cat Phillips is fast. Charlie Ide on the mark. Egan Griffiths with the disc. Swings it over to Chulett. Back to Egan Griffiths. Back to Chulett, just outside the end zone. And that's a goal for Ellipsis. That's a break, a hold to start out the game. Number 25 with the disc, Rob Andrews.
Ellipsis playing a very structured offense. Molly and I were talking to an Ellipsis player before the game. He characterized their offense as vertical stack, very structured. It seems like that's exactly what they did the first point. Very structured, playing from the front, playing from the back, clean cuts. However, I think both teams are unfamiliar with the superstar power on the other team. Okay? Huck goes up, Khalif El Salam under the disc. You know he's going to come down with it 99% of the time. And then the Cascades making the same mistake on the turn, throw in Alexa Garrity, who is fast, but you got Cat Phillips on you, superstar in her own right, and she gets the D. So hold for Ellipses.
Yeah, looking forward to see what both these teams can do for the rest of this game. 4 quarters, a lot of time in the game in general just to get the flow going. A lot of players to watch for the Cascades. Really happy to see her on the line right now, Hannah Kawai, kind of like a Swiss Army knife of a player. Handles, cuts, plays defense, both deep cuts and handler cuts. Looking forward to see what she can do with this mixed roster. We got Burton fielding the pull, centering it to Kawai. Cascades also starting out in a vertical stack. Ellipsis starting out kind of in a poachy. They also told us before the game that their defense would be chaotic with a lot of switches. Looking to kind of eat up space and be smart without having to use their legs too much. Garrett Larson dumps it back to Fan. Fan has Kawhi streaming up line. Kawhi with the disc. Has PGL going deep, but a little bit too far. Alexa throw it to Gillian. Gillian finding Burton. Burton has one of his favorite players going deep, but unfortunately just a little bit timing off. Couldn't hit him. Centers it to Kawhi. Kawhi, unfortunate, looking for a swing to Hauser, but turfs the throw. Ellipsis looking to get their first break of the game. We have Ryan Davey picking up the disc for Ellipsis, again going into a vertical stack. Cuts usually coming from the back. Elect to break the mark, get it to number 36, Sam McGuckin. McGuckin, I like your last name. You got a little C just like me. Chulett now with the disc. Oh, fakes a hammer. I kind of wanted to put it. Elects for a elevator forehand. McInnes now with the disc, finding Chulett again. Swinging it over to Ma. Gillian on her back. Excellent. Oh, unfortunate. That was such a great play by Ma, but unfortunately can't keep control with the ground contact. Cascades back off to the races. Burton picks it up to PGL. PGL Batman looking for Kawhi. Kawhi has a defender coming on her back and brings it down with a lot of confidence. And that's a hold for the Cascades. It's now 1-1.
Excellent throw from Peter Gertz-Loston to Hannah Kawhi. Put it out right in front of her and didn't let the defender get in there. But how about that Melbourne defense? You're talking about creating chaos. I didn't even know what they were running. It seemed like they were running like some sort of a junk, some sort of formation. There were a lot of cross-gender switches, which it seemed like they were fine with. And it definitely accomplished their goal. There was definitely a lot of confusion. They got it trapped in the sideline. Very interesting defense.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what the Cascades can do to kind of combat it, because the Ellipsis players are doing a good job sitting in the lane as well as having deep help, so they have to cut past those poaches because the players aren't necessarily guarding them tight on. They're kind of covering the pass, making it so that they have to elect to go side to side versus vertical. Looking forward to see if the Cascades go Hostak instead to make them have to kind of change up their switches and their poaches.
Yeah, and it's not very windy today, so I think those over-the-top throws are going to be a factor.
I know, right?
If the Cascades are going to adjust quickly enough.
Yeah, right now we kind of saw it on the stream. The sun is going down, so the currently Ellipsis players are going into the sun, and that's probably the only weather thing that is an issue right now. Tommy and I were throwing a little bit, and it was like heaven.
That was great.
It was great throwing on the field earlier. Ellipsis now has it. Oliver Lachlan with the disc. Throws it around to Andrews. Andrews with an inside to Chulit. Chulit wanting to put it. Has a person going. Excellent distance. Oh, unfortunate. That was such a great disk to space, but number 4, Lucy Deller, could not keep her hands on it, unfortunately. Spalding now picking up for the Cascades, getting everything going. And Will Coffin with an excellent under to deep cut. Great throw by Spalding, but that was a great cut. Dumps it back to El Salam. El Salam swinging it over to Rapisura. Swing cut coming from Casio. Casio has Spalding. And that's a break for the Cascades. Cascades lead 2-1.
Wow. What a throw by Tom Schulet. It didn't work out, but, you know, as someone who's just observing this team for really the first time, Schulet is definitely showing himself to be a very calm presence in the lane. And look at how much time he took to square up, made sure it was the right decision, executed well. The throw isn't a perfect place. Sad it didn't work out, but great point by Chulit there. And on the turn, Jess Spalding is going to shoot. She's got amazing timing. Like, that throw didn't have to be a 60-yard bomb. It just has to be in the right place. She's so good at that.
Exactly. Going back to talking about Tom Chulit, excellent player, has a lot of experience. He played for a couple years in the States for a couple club teams. Plays on in the men's and mixed division in Australia. Just kind of like another kind of Swiss Army knife type player. He can kind of do it all, and he's definitely a leader on this Ellipsis squad.
It's a nice man bun.
Oh, it's a gorgeous man bun. Cascades with the pull. Roller out of bounds. Chulit will take it, trapped on the sideline. Or force big side. I'm not sure what they're going to force. We'll find out. Ellipsis again in their vert stack. Really good at gaining those yards. It's just about having to complete those passes in their hands. Chulit has Phillips. Phillips around to, I believe that's 36, McGuckin. McGuckin back to handler in the middle. Excellent gaining pass to Dawson. Great D by Munoz on Chulit, excuse me.
Chulit.
Around pass to McGuckin. Another around to number 28, Rosie Dawson, and that's... I have a feeling that as more they are on offense more and more, things are going to get a lot smoother. And they're definitely mostly looking for the arounds.
Look at how smooth that was. And Chulit does the triple shimmy fake. So balanced, throws you around, leads to a cascade, no pun intended, of around backhands. You can tell that this Ellipses team, first of all, you can tell that they've practiced each other for a while. They're using very big spaces, and their throw choice is exactly the right throw choice for these big spaces.
Yeah, again, just 2 drops so far. Otherwise, it's been a pretty clean game for Ellipsis, as well as for the Cascades. They've just had 1 turnover. We have 4 minutes, 53 seconds left in the first quarter, 2-2. Cascades looking to receive on offense. Big pull by Ellipsis. We actually can't see that from the booth now. Sheena Titcomb picking up to get everything started. Cascade starting out in a hoe stack. Throws it around to Fan.
Yep. Here we go with the poachy look from Ellipses.
Cascade's doing a great job of kind of slicing and dicing and finding everyone. Ellipsis now playing a little bit tighter. Titcomb with the disc. Cascade's transitioning a little bit into a vertical. Fan with the disc, middle of the field. Around to Gertz Larson. Good old PGL. Finds Fan. Up the line to Burton. Hauser now with the disc just outside the end zone. Really love watching this Ellipsis defense against the Cascades offense. So many players on the Cascades are good at finding those spaces, but the Ellipsis players are so smart also that they're making them second guess and hesitate just a hair. Pick called. Burton taking it back 10 yards. He has Davey on the mark. Lily Goo getting everything started for the offense. Burton finding Titcomb. Back to Burton up the line. Titcomb electing to drive up line. Finding to change field. Burton swinging it around. Finds Fan. Has Rodenberg in the end zone.
Oh,
and just overthrown. Excellent movement by the Cascades.
Cascades were looking great there. They're moving it back and forth, and just unfortunate overthrow.
Yeah, needed to hit Sam in the body instead of leading them to space. And we have Carolyn Ma bringing the disc up to the end zone line. Rodenberg on the mark. Andrews with the disc now. Finding McGuckin. McGuckin with a big hook to number 13, Ashley McInnes. Titcomb with her. And Titcomb able to make up the ground. Kind of just tap that disc out of bounds. Get the block.
Look at that great positioning from Sheena Titcomb. Just holds the position. She never got beat. She just kind of held the position the whole time.
Cascades going back into their hoe stack. Brad Hauser getting everything started. Arounds are the look tonight. PGL with the disc now. Deep shot to Rodenberg. Fan almost catches up.
Henry Fan almost able to kind of sneak in there and just
I thought he was going to get
scoop it off the ground. I thought he was going to get it too.
Turning out to be a grinder of a point for both these teams. 77, Ryan Davey now has it. Around throw to number 25, Andrews. Andrews swings it back to Davey. Davey has McGuckin. McGuckin back to Davey. Davey finding Ely. Ely finding McInnes. Love the timing of all the Ellipsis players. They're really trying to, not too many people are cutting at once, and one person is cutting at the right time.
Oh,
and
huge
McInnes
layout grab.
In the end zone.
And that's a score.
I believe that's a break for the...
That's a break.
That's a break for Ellipsis.
Australia D-line.
Melbourne 3, Seattle 2.
These long points, let's be honest, they are not going to favor the Ellipses team. The Ellipses team seems like when you have to,
1 minute, 58 seconds
when you have to really scrap for a point like that, it's definitely tiring on the legs. Cascades are just going to put out a fresh line, but that's how you're going to win the game with those scrappy D points.
Yeah, it's going to be probably one of those games where it's going to come down to the wire, is my prediction. Both teams have a lot of different tools that they can throw at each other, and they have a lot of experience playing together, and it's just going to be a matter of who can mentally stay in this game a little bit longer than the other. Even on long points, can you tell your legs to keep going? Can you still do what the offense needs? For defense, can you do what is necessary to either get the block or to maintain position and not anything extra? It's a battle of wills tonight, and I love it.
This is as good as it gets, folks. It's a beautiful day, hardly any wind, beautiful field.
Burton with the disc. Cascades do a little bit of a Moses play. Two people in the back of the stack split off. Third person goes deep. PGL now with the disc. Overthrows does not overthrow Titcom. I should never doubt you. Titcom, excellent job digging that disc out of the turf. Burton now with the disc. Elects to put it up to PGL.
Whoa, what a throw.
Excellent throw by Mark Burton.
Oh, did you see that?
Oh, I did, Tommy, I did.
You know?
Because that was beautiful.
So Garrett Lawson wasn't even open,
1 minute,
but Burton
26
saw
seconds
that the defender had his back turned, and Burton just throws it up, calls his bluff, and Garrett Lawson just runs it down. The defender really had no chance there.
Yeah, love that. By the time he looked, he was already out of position and wasn't able to get that up. Game is now 3-3. 1 minute, 26 seconds left in the first quarter. It's not too hot here, folks, but it is hot in the booth.
Seconded that. You know, the Australian players say they're here to learn and here to play against the best players. Well, welcome to Seattle.
Welcome
That's
to Seattle.
Mark Burton for you.
Yep. He's going to slice and dice, and he's going to big ball on you. Spalding with the pull for the Cascades D-line. Love the energy from both teams, too. No negative body language yet. People kind of just happy to be here, but also happy to grind and want to win.
Ellipse is coming out in the horizontal stack.
Yeah, Chulit now with the disc. Have all-female handlers. Ely now getting a big under. Ellipse is doing a great job of doing what I know as the swim-through cut, where you just kind of just run by our defender and seal them out. Chulit now finding Phillips. Phillips around to Chulit. There was an opportunity for a hammer. Elects to throw a same side forehand.
Wow.
That is a beautiful throw. It was fast at first and then slowed
What
down
a
perfectly
throw.
to float into Phillips' hands.
Truett to Phillips. I'm sure that connection has happened plenty of times in the field for
44
this
seconds
team.
left in the first
Definitely.
quarter.
And, look at Ellipses trying to mix it up a little bit, playing a horizontal stack off the bat. It looks like they did crumble into vertical, as is their bread and
44.
butter.
Mm-hmm.
But really just trying to switch it up and keep the offense unpredictable.
Yeah, definitely like that. It kind of gets... You can lull your defense into thinking that you're going to do one thing, and then you throw something else at them, and it completely throws them off. Same like with defense, if you throw a zone, you put them out of their pull play.
Yeah.
So far, neither team really using pull plays so far. I think that's working to their advantage, because usually you can predict what a pull play is going to be, and then you're just going in a normal flow anyway, so might as well go in a normal flow for this game.
But still at the heart of it, seems like Trula is at the helm of this offense, distributing with his excellent throws.
Mm-hmm. McGuckin with the pull. Hannah Kawhi fielding it. Looking to center it finds Fan with a blade over the top. Swings it over to Hauser. Great use of switching the field by the Cascades. And Hauser putting an IO forehand hook to PGL. PGL has... unfortunate injury on the play.
22 seconds left.
22 seconds left of the clock. Ellipsis 4, Seattle 3.
Here's Lawson holding his leg. We really hope that he's all right up here. Looks like he is down at the moment.
Yeah, never want to see that happen, both for opponents and teammates, spectators. No one really wants to see anyone go out. You want to just come out, play hard, go home. I do really love the looks from both teams of switching it up between Hostek and Vert, because I could have sworn they were going to just pick one for the game.
Yeah.
And I like that they're switching it up a little bit and making the defense keep guessing. And someone that is really impressing me is, I believe it's could be number 23, or it might be McInnes, number 13 for Ellipsis, just really churning and burning downfield. Not getting hit every time, but someone that's constantly cutting. Those are going to be super, super open later in the game for them.
Yeah, I think what really impresses me about this Ellipses team is they actually, it seems like they really have a good sense of the spaces they want to create.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of like people interchangeably coming in. You know, they've got the really great around throws. A lot of their players have really great around throws, and like you said, like multiple players just really churning and burning at the back of the stack.
Yeah, and Cascade's doing a good job of recognizing when they are open. They're not looking for one person to get things started. They're looking for everyone to recognize who is in the best position to start cutting. And that's what we saw in that one really great break point for the Cascades with Will Coffin getting everything started, just being perfectly in the lane, driving under, churning and burning and going deep with Spalding hitting him in stride deep. And that ended up leading to a Cascade score, which was exactly what you want to see. Just go into your flow, get everything going, and don't second guess. Still on an injury timeout, folks. If you have any questions for us, please hit up the stream. I believe that there are comments going. Would love to interact with everyone. I'm also available on Twitter, and you can talk to Tommy through that through me. My Twitter handle is MollyMick21, MOLLYMCK, then the number's 21. If you want to chat with us, please do.
And we do hope you're having a good Wednesday wherever you are, wherever you're tuning in from. Hopefully we've got some Australian viewers on the stream with us.
Oh, I'd love that.
To all you all watching us from across the globe, welcome to sunny Seattle.
Yeah, it's been pretty beautiful today. Great weather today, not too hot. Not cold at all, but still able to sleep nicely at night. From the view in the booth, we can see the mountain, Mount Rainier, for those not familiar with Seattle area.
Classic Seattle summer.
I'm looking forward to see if any teams, one, will do zones, and two, if any teams will do an onside pull.
Yes. Yes. I think the onside pull is it's kind of like a trade secret.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still really am trying to figure out what like the scheme is for the ellipses junk, because it looks like some players are just like, some players aren't even playing a space. Some players are locked into their player, and other players are looking around. It's not clear to me like which players are supposed to be doing what. So I'm really looking forward to seeing some more of that.
Yeah, from at a quick glance, it looks like at least two players taking the unders on either side of, if they're doing vert stack, either side of the vert stack. At least one person kind of watching the deep, and then they have other people kind of locked down on either the handlers or someone that they think is going to be like an ISO or a matchup for them.
Yeah, we really do hate to see anyone go down, and we just feel so bad for Peter Geertz-Lawson. And looks like the emergency crew is here now with the fire department coming, and looks like the trainer was able to call very quickly for help, and help is now here. It's only been a few minutes, so I really hate to see the injury like that.
I know Peter Geertz-Lawson, such a great player for both the mixed and open roster. Turns and burns over and over and over again, always finds himself in the same spot, and I was fortunate enough to get to meet his parents last home game.
Oh, yeah?
Incredibly nice people, love getting to meet them, love getting to meet more like of the players outside of them just being a player.
Yeah.
Was kind of a really nice experience for me to be able to meet someone's parents that don't usually get to see him.
I mean, I think he's been having a fantastic season. I saw him at League the other day, and I was like, hey man, like you are really like seriously scoring some serious goals here, and of course, like he's got some good throwers to help him out. But give credit where credit's due. He's having a great season. He's a great runner, aggressively attacks the disc, and his throws have leveled up tremendously over the last few years.
Yeah, fortunately, the fire department here now going to take care of PGL. I think in a little bit we're going to take a break, folks. We're just going to get everything situated on the field, make sure everyone else is okay, because this isn't just something for PGL. There's also a burden on his team, not a burden. There's also something that his teammates are going through and his opponent, because everyone sees it and they experience it with him. Unfortunate to happen to anyone. All right, we're going to take a break, folks. We will be right back.
All right, see you soon.
And just to let you know, there is merchandise available on the west side of the stands. Now might be an okay time to check that out. There's also hot dogs available further west along the track. So get fed, check out some gear as the fire department attends their collection on the field. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're just giving you a quick update. Peter Gerhardsson getting taken off the field soon. Wish him all the best. We're going to shout out real quick to our sponsors. First one real quick is Tiger Balm. Get you back on the field faster, help you recover, help you stay on the field. Tiger Balm, not just for athletes, also for commentators.
And we're still waiting for our Tiger Bomb. Shout out to another one of our sponsors, Portage Bay, serving the best brunches in the city.
So good.
Head over to Portage Bay for some pregame brunch on game day.
Score currently is Australia 4, Seattle 3, 22 seconds left the first quarter. Looking through some YouTube comments, and I see that I'm likely pronouncing Tom Chulett's last name wrong. I was told that it was with a ch versus a t. If I am mistaken, please let me know in the comments. This is what I was told by one of his teammates. Maybe it's the American accent being bad. I apologize. Thanks for sticking with us. Glad to have you on. We'll be right back once the game gets underway.
We're all wishing you a swift recovery. Great effort out on the field here. Good luck to you. Fans, thanks for cheering him on, and again for your patience here. And a shout out to our fire department and medics for their speedy response. The referees are going to convene captains of both teams and decide on where we're going to pick up this game. I think we left it with 22 seconds left in the first quarter, for those of you who have arrived in this break. But referees will meet with captains and we'll decide how to move forward here. Once again, thank you so much for your patience, and we'll get underway with this game again very soon. Thanks.
Welcome back, everyone. Captains are meeting at the middle of the field, talking with refs to figure out how we're going to get this game going again. The rest of the teams are kind of huddling up, hanging out with each other, being there for each other. No one likes to really go through this, both for the injured player and both for the spectators and their teammates. Wish everyone all the best. But we still got a game to play.
Yeah, we still got a game to play, and you just feel so bad for Peter, but also, I don't think there's anything malicious about that play at all. I really think it was just a really, a wholehearted effort on both sides, and a just really unfortunate landing.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely hope that both teams can move forward, because I definitely think that there's no malice intended on that play. Just really unfortunate.
Definitely. Captains have come back from the referees. We're going to get word on how this game is going to keep going. Looking forward to seeing how both teams bounce back. They're both going through similar emotions, probably. And it's all about, how can you kind of move past this?
Yep.
Yes, you can keep that in the back of your head that happened, that your teammate is off the field, that your opponent had to go down that way. But you still have to show up and play.
Yeah, sometimes emotions are tough in this game. And I think that's part of the reason why we play it, because it's so difficult, because in the end it's worth it. You really test yourself mentally and physically. So I think for Australia, the topic at hand is, we're still here to compete. We've traveled so far away. We're here in Seattle, one of the best cities in the world for Ultimate. We're playing against world-class players. Let's really step on the field and still give it our all, because really that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, world-class players versus world-class players. And so far we have a pretty clean game. I think there's only been 3 or 4 turns so far this game. One kind of marathon point that's kind of a testament to both the defenses that teams are running as well as the offenses on trying to get things really moving. The turnovers have really only been near the end zones on deep shots. They haven't really been that close to the disc, which is good. Turnovers near the handlers can be kind of a detrimental feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Versus a deep shot. Well, at least you make the other team go the full length of the field.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're just going to pick off where we left off. Carolyn Ma is going to pick up the disc, get us going. Laura Manson with pulling the disc into play. Carolyn Ma with the disc. McGuckin starting out in isolation. Chulett ended up putting it deep.
No hesitation from Chulett.
Rosie Dawson trying to run it down. Can't quite catch up with it. Great run by her.
8,
Excellent wheels.
Less than 10
7,
seconds left.
6,
Ooh,
5,
visionary throw by Cassio.
4,
Coffin looking to put it deep to someone. Has to. There's only 2 seconds left of the
1.
game. El Salam in the area. Excellent defense by McGuckin. And that's the first quarter, folks. Melbourne 4, Seattle 3. First quarter done with.
Yeah, what a fast-paced first quarter. Both teams come out with a lot of energy. Both teams attacking really big spaces with fast receivers and confidently throwing out throws, just chucking them over the break side. No hesitation to get the ball moving off these pull plays from both teams.
And we, if you're just joining us, folks, we are playing AUDL rules. We have referees. It's a big full field. There are 4 quarters for time, so we're just going to keep playing until the clock runs out. If you have questions, again, hit up the stream. We're glancing at it. Thanks again for giving me the feedback on how to pronounce Tullet's last name. I'll just try to say it quickly. Just kidding. I'll try to honor it. Second quarter starting out soon. I believe the Cascades are going to start on offense. Looking forward to see what both teams do again. Are they going to keep kind of switching back and forth between host stack and vertical stack? Are they going to keep doing, is Ellipsis going to keep doing junkie Ds? Is someone going to throw a zone? Is there going to be one of those elusive, mysterious onside pulls?
Let's not forget about the Seattle narratives here, because a lot of these Seattle players here, I think I'm seeing some new names on this roster, some players who really haven't been able to take the stage before now. I haven't seen Kelly Gillian on these rosters before. Lily Gu obviously stepping up and playing a larger role, and really cool. Like Hannah Kwai, a really big name in Seattle Ultimate, but hasn't really stepped in the field that much for the Cascades this year. So really excited to have all these new players here and here showing their stuff.
Yeah, and as well as just kind of highlighting other players that have been here the whole season, like Cassio and Munoz, here just grinding day in and day out, wanting to just do what the team needs. Titcomb feeling the pull, centering it to Burton. Burton around to Kawhi. Cascade sort of started in a side stack. Gillian now with the disc. Unmarked currently. Dishes it up to Kawhi. Ellipsis doing a good job of kind of not quite covering a person until they're active. Fan with the disc now. Slicing around to Titcomb, finding Kawhi. Burton having to run it down.
Oh,
picks it up just
grab
outside the end zone. Hammer over to one of his favorite targets, Hauser. Hauser going up one-handed for a hammer.
Strong move from Brad Hauser. How many times have you seen Mark make an amazing play and then just get up, he's
and throw a hammer.
Super juiced, and then he throws a perfect hammer?
Actually, a lot.
It happens quite a lot. He's got the adrenaline going, so obviously Brad's a great target.
Yeah, definitely one of his favorite targets for the last several seasons, both in pro and club. They've been playing together for a long time. They know where each other's going to go. They know how fast the other is. They know where the other wants to throw to.
Yeah. Brad's thinking, oh, Mark just caught a huge one again.
I got to go to space now.
I got to give him something good.
We're tied at 4s, just under 10 minutes left. I think it's 9:19 left. El Salam going to be the one to pull it off for the Cascades.
I want to just mention one thing to you, Molly, because we're talking about that Ellipses defense. It looked like there was a woman defender just kind of like hanging out, playing mid-deep, deep, like not really concerned about like catching up to an open woman in the handler space.
Yeah.
I'm really wondering if that was intentional or not.
I think we're going to see if it keeps going this way. Chill it with the disc now. Phillips in isolation. Ooh, Rappisura!
Oh.
Unfortunate collision. Disc floated just a little bit. Phillips trying to run it down. Rappisura seizes up. Both kind of occupy the same space. Unfortunate play right there. Again, no malice intended. Player's going to take a second to check themselves, see if they need any assistance. Rappisura immediately putting his hand on his chest. That was my bad. I'm sorry. And Phillips is going to take a sub. We have Ma coming on the field.
Kat Phillips is taking a second to collect herself, looks like. she jogged off the field of her own power. She said,
Just give me a minute.
yeah, give me a minute. So,
Yeah, Kat Phillips, well-known player from Australia, has been playing throughout the world, actually, for the last couple of years. Big name, big role model. Love seeing her out here. Ma gets things going by finding Deller. Deller finds Egan Griffiths. Back to Deller. Deller, I love the hammer fakes. Opens up so much of the field. Around throw to Egan Griffiths. Finding Andrews. Both teams really using the around space. Not as
Yeah.
many IO shots as we are used to seeing. Andrews now with the disc. El Salam on the mark. Putting it out to space
What
for
a
his
throw.
teammate. Excellent space throw. Had two people that could have easily eaten that up.
excellent throw by Rob Andrews. And this Ellipses team is just so proficient. I'm observing that they have excellent inside throws and the corresponding arounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like truly, I think it would be a mistake to keep playing this team force forehand.
Ooh,
Because
force him backhand.
How many times, we talked about this, in previous games, like force backhand's the new force forehand.
Yeah.
Because teams are just so used to getting force forehand. Like people have that cheeky high release forehand. They've got the around. This team everyone has around backhands in this team. Really, really zippy around backhands. I really think that this team is really well versed in playing against standard defenses, which
Yep.
is a hallmark of a great team.
Yeah. I remember the first time I was forced backhand, I was like, ooh, I like this. Force me backhand more. I didn't know I had an IO backhand until someone forced me backhand. I loved it. Ellipsis getting us running with the pull. Burton fielding it. Looks like they're going to center it to Titcomb. Cascade starting out in a Hostak. Lily Gu getting everything started. Titcomb swings it over to Burton. Burton has Rodenberg, and that is a big man in the middle of the lane. Is that McGuckin? Excellent
I think it was.
defensive
McGuckin
vision.
just says
McGuckin.
no.
You're my golden boy. And Cascades, Ellipsis getting things immediately going. One throw, pass, break. Melbourne 6, Cascades 4.
Rosie Dawson catching that, but really McGuckin doing all the hard work there, just denying Burton's forehand huck with two hands, just canceling it.
Not today!
That's got to feel good.
Yeah, excellent heads-up play by McGuckin. Because my head was still starting to look, and I saw it out of the corner of my eye that there's a big man in a gray hat.
Yeah.
Two paws, putting the disc back into the dirt.
Okay, Ellipses D update. Ellipses came down in positions. They came down with man guarding the middle handler, and then I believe women guarding the peripheral handlers. But it wasn't gender matchup. It was a cross gender matchup, and it seems like they're just really comfortable just doing that.
Yeah, because probably once those players get to a certain part of the field, they're passing them off to their teammates, not necessarily sticking with them. Like, this is the area I'm guarding like a zone, but I'm trying to stay tight on them while they're in there.
Yeah.
Or poaching in the lane if they're not getting looked at.
And, that's such an interesting way of going about mixed ultimate. I feel like I personally have not seen that at all in the U.S., just matching up mixed gender right off the bat. People go to great lengths in mixed just to get the right gender matchup.
I love it. Makes everything more on a spectrum versus black and white. Titcomb fielding the pull. Centering it to Fan. As soon as I say that not many IO forehands have gone up, Henry Fan puts a nice one up. An excellent D by Ely. Hannah Kawhi putting up a big huck to Hauser. Ely getting position before Hauser. Get a big paw on it, smack that disc away so that Hauser doesn't have a second chance. And we have Ryan Davey picking up the disc, get everything started. Ma with the disc now. Oh, unfortunately, McGuckin can't quite keep his hands on it as he's hitting the turf. Turnover, Ellipsis. Fan going to pick up for the Cascades. Ely on the mark. Dumping it to Burton. Burton doing a good job of seeing that Ely was peeling off onto Kawhi. Finds Fan wide open just outside the end zone. Centering it to Kawhi. Cascades kind of in a jumble of a stack right now. Dumps it back to Fan, back to Kawhi. Finding Hauser in the end zone. with a bidding McGuckin flying through the air. There's a lot of good things that happened at that point.
Yeah. A lot of good things.
Yeah.
Cascades making the solve every single time. We had Burton with the disc, and then just throwing a huge space shot to Fan, and then a little bit of classic Seattle give and go up the middle, finding Brad Hauser at the end. Ellipses getting their money's worth for sure.
About 6 minutes, 42 seconds left in the game. Melbourne 6, Seattle 5. Really loving the flow of the game. It feels like no one quite has exactly what the other is going to do, like aside from that Huck turn, McGuckin D of Burton's Huck.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the teams are kind of really trying to fight to get those turns, but overall able to kind of do what they want in an efficient way. No one's really going outside their playbook yet. It's going to be interesting once one team has to go outside their playbook.
I mean, we're seeing aggressive looks on both sides. Both sides are going for the Huck. And sometimes it's being turned over on both sides, usually at this point. But really, both teams really going for the jugular right off the bat.
Phillips with the disc. Finds a teammate. Oliver Loughlin. Andrews now with the disc. Around to number 23, Egan Griffiths. Handlers moving amongst themselves. Phillips now with the disc. Charlie Eide on the mark. Phillips putting up a blade.
Oh.
Repusura trying to get their hand on it. Number 16, Oliver Loughlin, comes down with it, dishes it to his teammate in the end zone. Goal for Ellipsis.
A little bit more space. I think a little bit more space than Ellipsis is used to. They're used to playing a vertical stack, and now there's probably like 10 more yards on each side. And they're just going up. They're just slicing and dicing. They're going up the break side, going up the open side. Doesn't really matter what side. They're using some nice break throws to get the ball moving.
Yeah, they definitely have their check down list of we want to gain yards on every throw. And they're doing a really good job of figuring that out, changing the plan of attack, but trying to gain yards on every single throw. Versus Cascades, they're kind of okay losing some yards, but they also want to gain them. It feels like the Ellipsis are really trying to gain yards either through their cutters or through their handlers up the line or swinging up the line.
Yeah. I think, yes, I totally agree with what you're saying there. I think the Cascades handlers are okay with losing some yards to get it in the hands of a very experienced thrower, whereas Ellipses, I think, they're constantly pushing past the line of scrimmage.
Fan centering it to Titcomb. Cascade starting out in a vertical stack. We have people kind of tightish on the handlers right around the disc, poaching off a little bit, but kind of clogging the middle, making them go wide. Titcomb now with the disc up the line. McInnes on the mark. Titcomb finds Burton. Burton hitting Hauser low. Hauser moving it laterally to Burton. Keep going laterally to Kawhi. Kawhi around to Rodenberg. Rodenberg about 10 yards outside the end zone. And I believe a stall is called and turnover. Excellent coverage sack by the Melbourne Ellipses. 77 for Ryan Davey. 77 for Ellipses picking it up. Tight defense on number 34, Timocles Copland. Able to break around the double team. Ma finding Davey. Davey finding Ely. Ely, nice space throw to Davey. Had to gain a little bit of yards. Cutters are trying to get their feet underneath them, getting their timing down. Number 13, Ashley McInnes, gets everything started. Copland now with the disc. Double teamed again by Fan and Burton. Great around throw to Davey. Davey with a space shot. And unfortunately,
not quite.
Dignam just a little bit too far for Ely. Cascades going into a hoe stack. Fan going to pick up for the Cascades.
And credit to where credit's due. This Ellipses offensive possession was very disciplined. They definitely tried to keep the disc in the hands of their players and making the good decisions, but that last one at the end, just kind of unfortunate drop or overthrow there.
Fan immediately picking it up and looking to Kawhi. Kawhi hits a nice long throw to Rodenberg. Rodenberg just outside the end zone, finding Titcomb. Titcomb kind of like weaving her way through traffic, finding the open space. Rodenberg able to just give a little dish to her.
You all run in a circle around your defender.
The old circle dump cut.
But I think for Seattle, I think that was a really big point. Now it's 6-7. It could have been 5-8. So I think Seattle kind of prevented a more of a gap there.
Yeah, 3 minutes, 45 seconds left in the second quarter. Love the quick movement from the Cascades. Going into Hostak means Ellipsis can't really do their poachy defense. Means that they can get their one-on-one matchups that they want. Definitely more in favor for the Cascades to get a little bit one-on-one versus having to kind of think about where the defenders are. El Salam with the pull. Blady pull. Gonna settle inbounds. Andrews picks up, centers it to Chulit. Excellent mark by Munoz. Makes Chulit dump it over to number 16, Lachlan. And unfortunate misconnect.
Oh, and just an ankle biter there. Couldn't quite get it.
Yeah, throws it just a little bit too low for their teammate. Spalding now with the disc. Spalding with an outside in, inside out throw to Idy.
Cheeky Oyo.
Idy centering it to Munoz, or excuse me, Casio.
Give it back
Casio to Spalding.
Spalding.
I know, right? Ooh, footwork.
Boomtown. There we go.
Excellent coverage by Rob Andrews, but El Salam just using his footwork, plants hard, cuts under, chop steps, goes out to space. Spalding able to put that up with the right timing so that Andrews can't get a hand on it. Goal Cascades.
That's a good time. That's a good time.
And that's a break for the Cascades. We are tied up now, 7-7. 3 minutes left of the game of the first half. Again, thanks everyone for joining us. Keep commentating. We'll keep commentating. You commentate. It's been a long day, but we're having fun.
Every time I see Jess Spalding step on the field,
Something good happens.
She's gunslinging, but it's good gunslinging.
Oh yeah.
She's got the throws, and she's got the timing. She never ever hesitates. And I think, of course, timing is everything. Mm-hmm. And she's putting in the right spot at the right time. Very aggressive.
Yeah, so much confidence with her throws. Knows when, as soon as someone starts going, she knows when she needs to put it up for that person's speed.
Yeah, she's just so intuitive about throwing. It's really special.
Mm-hmm. Spalding with the pull. Phillips going to pick up. Looking to center it to Egan Griffiths. Ellipsis in their vertical stack. Chulit with the disc now. Has number 53 going, Michaela Dignam. Big huck going up.
Wow, what a throw.
Keep that in your hands. Excellent. Good job. That was an excellent throw. Excellent run by Ellipsis. Wow.
Chulit showing why he's one of the most consistent throwers in the field right now. Not only throwing that backhand about 60, 65 yards, but putting IO on it, putting inside out on it, and putting it over the middle, over the back shoulder, where the defender did not expect it and also didn't really have a play on it. That's elite level throwing right there.
Yeah, making it float enough where able to catch it twice. Sun's starting to go down. Still a little bit of spots on the field where the sun is in players' eyes. I'm not saying that's the reason that it was doinked a little bit, but hey, sometimes a goal is a goal, but you definitely want to get those on the first try.
2 minutes, 42
I think people are starting to work their nerves out. Probably not going to see very many of those. And I hope the commentator's curse isn't true for us. Cascades getting to receive the pull on offense. McGuckin with the pull for Ellipsis. Melbourne 8, Seattle 7. 2 minutes, 42 seconds left of the game of the first half. Fan fielding it, looking to center it to Titcomb. Cascades come in a vert stack. Ellipsis in their junkie poachy then match up. Burton with the disc now. Swings it to Gillian. Ely on the mark. Gillian finds Goo. Love the rotating marks by Ellipsis, making it really hard for the Cascades trying to find their open players. Come finding Burton. Burton putting it up to Fan. He's got Davey on his back.
Wow.
Fan able to just run it out. Excellent dime of a throw by Burton. Not much the defender could do about that. That was
What
a
a throw.
perfect throw by Burton.
That's the definition of throwing your receiver open. You know,
2
there was a
minutes,
period
4
of time
seconds
when
left in second
I think
quarter.
we were both like, "Oh, is there going to be a play?" No, there's no play. The disc is in the right spot.
Yep. Henry Fan usually a handler coming out the field saying, "I'm a cutter."
Is that what he said?
That is just what he said. Got some good. We're able to hear people from the field a little bit better than we've been when we've been in Memorial Stadium. So this
He's
is
a
definitely
cutter.
a different experience for us.
He's a cutter, everyone.
He's a cutter, everyone. He can do it all.
It's good when people can do it all. It's good
Oh,
when
yeah.
it's good when handlers go deep. It's good when cutters can go up line on people. That's what makes people great players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always kind of annoying when I run down and have to guard and I'm guarding a handler and they go deep. It's like that's not where I
Those
thought.
are the best
Yeah,
handlers.
I know.
Yeah, truly.
Keeps the defenders on their toes when you change up your game a little bit, not just put yourself in a box.
Henry Fan really increasing his, from what I've seen playing with him and against him for a few years, really increasing his fitness in the last 2 or 3 years. Able to go up for sky balls just straight up with athletes. Whereas before, I think he was just, a handler working his handler stuff.
Yeah. Ma getting everything started. Looks like a foul happened off the disc between Spalding and Egan Griffiths. Ma will take it back 5 yards. Garrity on the mark.
Oh,
Munoz with a great eyes on the disc poach block. Finding Repisura. Repisura puts it out to space for Palmer. And that is a break for the Cascades.
I think someone mentioned they should force backhand earlier.
Yeah, it was you.
1 minute, 29 seconds.
1 minute, 29 seconds left of the game.
So,
Of
just,
this first half, excuse me.
just one data point there, but, Ellipses plays their best speedball when they're in their comfort zone, which possibly is forced forehand, but, backhands just take like half a second longer than the forehands do. So I think that's how Munoz was able to kind of sneak in there and snatch it away.
Yeah, excellent mark by Garrity, making it flat, making Ma kind of go more lateral than vertical. Munoz having eyes on that the whole time, started moving before the disc was even released, able to safely get into the space before the Ellipsis player. Clean D, and then the Young Guns kind of off to the races for the Cascades to get that break. Cascades 9, Ellipsis 8. Chillett with the disc. Deller getting everything started. Unmarked, Georgia Egan Griffiths unmarked. Big disc goes up.
Lets it fly.
Ooh, unfortunate. Deller can't quite get their hand on it. Great way to be there pressure-wise by ID, but I think that was just can't quite get their hand on it for the Ellipsis player. Spalding picking it up, bringing it to the line. ID getting everything started. IO forehand from Spalding.
Oh,
An excellent defense by Lochnan. Oh, I wanted him to get rewarded. Deller with the disc. Finding Lochnan. Lochnan finding number 13, McInnes. Possibly a pick happened, so we're going to have a redo.
34 seconds left.
34 seconds left of this second quarter. Sale 9, Melbourne 8. I believe it was a pick.
Kick was called against Melbourne, and they'll lose 10 yards and restart play.
Lochnan bringing it in. Casio on the mark. Unfortunately, you can't start throwing it until the whistle blows. We're going to back up a little bit more for Ellipsis. It's hard to play different
unfortunate
rules.
violation. Now there's one rule. Wait for the whistle.
31 seconds left.
There you go.
Immediately backhand to Phillips. High backhand to number 23, Egan Griffiths. Blady forehand to Phillips. Phillips just attacks it first before
20
Spalding can
seconds.
get their hand on it. Not much time left. Time is running out.
15,
Egan Griffiths with the disc.
Oh.
Blades it to number 16, Lochnan.
10, 9, 8, 7.
And timeout. Or
Oh, was it out of bounds by that?
staff member running the clock forgot that time needs to stop if the disc goes out of bounds.
So it looks like time will be added to the clock.
We have at
Probably
least 10 seconds,
Something
if
more than
not
10
more.
seconds.
And foul call stop the clock, which keeps running until there's just 1 minute remaining. So, part of the confusion there is we Cascade disc with some amount of seconds on the clock.
Cascades disc with some amount of seconds on the clock. Seattle 9, Melbourne 8. Casio picking up the disc. Centers it with yard gaining to Munoz. No one going deep yet. Munoz space shot to Casio. Casio finding ID.
6,
5 seconds left of the game. Coffin with the disc now. Gotta put something up.
2,
Spalding in the area.
1.
Spalding making the play. Oh,
Excellent
Cat
safe
Phillips.
defense by Cat Phillips. Able to kind of out-body position Spalding, make it hard for her to go up strong. And first half of play is over.
Cat Phillips in the proximity and just her effect over Spalding. You know, it's so hard to catch a disc over someone who's fast and tall and timing it right. Molly, what are your thoughts in the first half?
There is a lot of good things. I really need to have a little bit more water. I still got a dry spot in my throat. I've been battling this whole half. But I've seen just so many good things. Lots of chemistry between the two teams, but slightly different styles. The Ellipsis looking first to the back of the stack, making an undercut. One on break side, one on open side. And then if those aren't open, they're trying to go to the front of the stack by gaining yards, either to the break side or the open side, whatever's available. Cascade's usually able to just kind of move it along. We're going to take a quick break right now, and we'll be right back in a few minutes.
Incredible youth talent from across the U.S. and consisted of 9 total games that were some of the most exciting competition this summer. So, sit on back if you're not going to get your fill of the hot dog vendor, if you're not buying some Cascade merchandise in the merch tent. Then go ahead and sit back, maybe make some new friends. Enjoy in just a couple minutes here the Disc Northwest Tier Tour 6 Tour Showcase. Halftime will be about 20 minutes, and we'll resume the Cascade matchup against Ellipsis at that time. Let's cheer them on as they take the field, folks. The Disc Northwest Tier 206 Tour. These are some of the top youth talent our region has to offer. And that is saying something. We have quite the youth scene here in Seattle Ultimate. And you're going to get just a taste with some 5 versus 5 action for your enjoyment now.
And welcome to our halftime show. We have the 206 Tour players back from their East Coast trip. This is the squads from the Open team and the women's team for the U20 division, youth division. We have white versus black,
The
playing on a
Seattle,
little bit smaller field than the AUDL.
the Seattle YCC teams are going to compete this weekend at U.S. Open, or rather the YCC championships for them in Blaine, Minnesota. It's really a huge event at this point. I remember when I was a youth playing in 2006, 2007, you know, it wasn't so big, and they've added multiple divisions now. There's like a U16 division as well. Really, the level of play on the youth has just exploded.
Yeah, Seattle has 2 teams in the in 2 different divisions going. These are the 2 teams from a division that won't be there this weekend, but they had their fun last weekend, traveling across the country to the East Coast, playing a bunch of YCC teams, getting them ready for the tournament this weekend. Now they're just putting on an amazing show for the Cascades fans right now and everyone watching. And it looks like Dark just scored. 1-0 Dark. Let's see if we can keep score as best we can.
We'll keep score here on this piece of paper we have.
Yep, lots of paper.
Molly, what do you think it means to these kids to be able to travel across the country and to play other teams, on their home turf, but also have their footage be streamed over the internet? What do you think that means for these people?
I think if it hasn't happened to any of them before, it's probably kind of jaw-dropping. I remember the first time I was in a game that was streamed, and I was very nervous. I didn't know what to do. But overall, you just that's just another distraction you have to ignore. But I think, one, being here, and two, doing that tour really meant a lot to all these kids. They're here to play. They want to compete against the best teams. Unfortunately, won't be there this weekend, but they get to compete against each other right now. But they've played, I think, 5 games against teams between Boston and Washington, D.C., hit up North Carolina as well in the middle, a couple other teams here and there. And they just kind of basically hang out with each other, but also they had homestays set up. So they stayed in other players' houses throughout their travels over there. Dark now with the disc. And I think right now this is just fun. They're playing 5-on-5. They can't necessarily do all of their systems that they normally do. Nori Catalano puts up a big floaty huck to number 85. And this may just be during a halftime show, but I'm watching. I'm engaged, and I think everyone else that's in these stands is engaged as well.
Yeah.
And Nori Catalano doing a good job not putting her body on the line and digging that out of the turf.
Yeah,
Hashtag Go Cougars.
When, at least for me, I remember distinctly like what my first big games were, like under the lights. These games that actually meant a lot for the team. High pressure situations, like there was a stream going on. I remember those moments very, very clearly, and it really took me personally. It took me like several of these experiences to accumulate before I really felt comfortable like on that stage. And for these kids, it's just so fantastic. They have like these really proper events that are being live streamed, people watching them, and it just helps having all these experiences underneath your belt,
especially at such a young age. I think we've got, maybe it was with another commentator, Miko, but just like my mentality when I'm on the field, where I just don't care about other stuff. So like, while it's really cool to be on a stream, I told myself like, that's fine. I'll look at it later. That's not for now. But still getting this experience, like it's really cool. Like their families get to watch this. Their friends that aren't here right now get to watch this. Like it is a really big deal, but you still have to go out there and kind of play and have fun.
And so much of it is like, so much of being Ultimate player is explaining to people in your life who don't play Ultimate like what you did with your weekend, obviously. So it's really cool to have that footage. A huge layout attempt here. That footage, on the internet, being like, hey, here's what I do.
Here's the play I did. Here's the game my team won. And so many different companies are streaming things. Like we have us here in Seattle doing some streaming, but there is some streaming for this 206 tour. There's was the national invite for high schoolers a couple of months ago that was also streamed. Just and there's going to be streamed games this weekend. Just lots of opportunities for people to both play and watch all over the world. We're in a film wealth abundance time right now, folks. And White is up 2-1 over Dark.
Shout out to my buddy Kevin Minderhout for having the vision early on.
Hashtag next gen.
2010, 2011.
2010 was the first year. No.
It was 2011.
It was 2011. Yeah, it was only for 3 years.
I was in the second one, and that was 2012. Actually, it was a really funny story because Kevin invited me for the Next Gen Tour in 2012, and I was like, okay, this is awesome. I'm so excited. Like, I got the email, and I was like, I can't believe this is happening. And then after emailing him a couple of times, he was like, yeah, I tried to invite you last year, too, but your email, like, I didn't have the right email for you. I was still super jazzed about being invited, but I was like, hey, I could have gone last year as well.
Yeah, that was definitely a highlight of a couple of summers for me, is just watching the Next Gen Tour and I still watched a lot of those games. We got a tie disc game down on the field right now between the dark team and the white team. Great space shot over the defender into Nori Catalano's hands. Jack Brown out there, Cascades open roster player, making plays out there as well. Very glad that we have all these players out here putting on an excellent show for everyone watching.
Molly, you used to coach, or you still do coach.
I do.
Currently. Are a lot of youth teams playing horizontal or vertical more that you've seen right now?
I've seen both. A mix of both. It really depends on how many throwers each team has. Do they have multiple players that identify as handlers? They can probably go hoe stack. Do they have people that can break the mark really easily? Might go vert. Just kind of depends on what the strengths are of the team and what you want to use. But I think a lot of teams know how to do both. Big upshot for White. Nice, putting it to space. White is up 3-2.
Yeah, the more I play, the more I realize how different the horizontal and vertical sets are.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, going back to this game here, Ellipses, they are so good at throwing around backhands.
Mm-hmm.
And why are they so good at throwing around backhands? Because they're being forced forehand and they're playing vertical stacks.
So much space to throw into.
This is the skill that this whole team is good at.
Yeah.
And to be good at it, you have to do it over and over and over again. It's really interesting to see the difference.
Yeah, it's cool. I feel like, I'm not sure about the mixed division, but in the women's division for club, there's a lot. Vert stack is making a comeback. A lot more teams playing vert stack now. The last couple of years, the team I've been on has been playing vert stack, so I've actually found that I like it more.
Yeah.
Definitely is a type of offense where you need a lot of chemistry with the people around you, because it's more about timing and not just running and not necessarily just running and gutting. Jack Brown now with the disc.
A cheeky high release lefty.
Achilles putting a big throw up. Dark brings it in. And we're tight at threes.
This girl, 85, wish we knew her name, but
I
she's
know.
been a really great receiver for them, catching it under pressure. She's got the height. She's got the hands.
Got the height. I know a couple of the players out there, one of which I've coached for the last 4 years, and others I've just seen making highlight plays after highlight plays on their club teams.
And you know, like, the San Francisco teams, you know, they tend to play a lot of side stack. In my experience playing against them. I know, like, you know, the men's teams there definitely play a lot of side stack.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the mixed teams do as well.
Got it.
And that's just kind of, I think, just a product of, like, the area that you grow up in, the players, what they like,
Yeah.
the crossover between teams.
Definitely. For those tuning in, the Cascades versus Ellipsis, the score is Seattle 9, Melbourne 8. The score of this halftime game, it's currently tied at 3-3. Close games for all.
And for those tuning in, this is not the Cascades versus Ellipses game. This is the 206 YCC Seattle kids putting on a showcase game.
Playing on a
Right now
slightly
for the
smaller
fans.
field than the older folks playing. Ooh, and an excellent poach D by Dark. Saw that coming from a mile
Nice
away.
one.
I heard that disc get hit from up
That's-
here.
That was a sweet poach. Jack Brown dancing in the lane, but
Yeah, I think they're playing with a smaller stall count along with a smaller field. And that's a score for
Nice,
White.
there we go.
White 4, Dark 3. Time running out for the halftime. Ellipsis coming out of their locker rooms. Wondering if any halftime adjustments are going to be made. We'll speculate about that after this halftime is over. Cascades, a lot of players on the Cascades are coaches all across Seattle. A lot of them know all these kids individually. I don't think the Cascades have had a team huddle yet for halftime. If they have, we didn't see it. They've all been on the sideline supporting these youth kids, celebrating the end of their tour that they were just on.
you know, it's something I really appreciate about the Seattle community is really how homegrown it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm relatively new to the area. You know, I wanted to come here because of awesome ultimate, and now I truly am seeing why it's such a strong community. It's just so homegrown. There's so many people involved, and these kids are having such a great time. Like for me, I remember playing in the summer and just being able to play a lot and just being able to like throw the disc around on an awesome day and just get a lot of reps, hang out with your friends.
And get better at something. Like you're hanging out with your friends, you're bonding, but you're also finding your passion. You're finding like what you want to be good at and what you want to get better at. And that's something that I didn't really have until I found Ultimate. I did lots of sports growing up. Found Ultimate as the first one that I actively wanted to keep getting better at and was hungry to get better at.
And you started Ultimate
later than others.
When you were in college.
I was
right?
just out of college when I really
college?
started. Nora Catalano now with the disc for Dark.
Oh, great dunk D from white team.
Nice around throw by Dark. Excellent fakes by number 85, using her length, move the mark. Achilles with the disc now just outside the end zone. Lefty backhand to his teammate. Dark 4, white 4.
Look at this stack discipline.
I love it.
These kids are so good at Ultimate. It's amazing.
And they're playing 5-on-5.
I was at a tournament a couple weekends ago. Like, even these adult teams, like, they have a lot of issues. Like one big issue I'm seeing that these kids are not doing, the disc swings, and then, like, 3 people cut for the swing.
Yeah.
Right? That's, like, a classic, like, vertical stack issue. But these kids have such good coaching and such good field sense that they're not doing that. And that takes people years sometimes to really develop naturally. But it just goes to show, like, how good these kids are, how good the coaching is.
How team-focused they are.
Like what the average level of play here in this city is. Yeah, it's just incredible.
We're going to get started with the third quarter soon. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, folks. All right, everyone, welcome back to the second half of Seattle Cascades versus Ellipsis. We're in West Seattle, Washington, Seattle area. It's been a long day. It's been a long first half. Looking forward to another one. Got the players out there having fun. The score currently is Seattle 9, Melbourne 8, 10 minutes, third quarter. About to get underway. Ellipsis starting on offense.
Before we get started, I want to shout out a couple of our sponsors. We're going to shout out Children's Hospital for providing excellent quality care to children here in Seattle for many years. And also want to shout out Real Rehab. They are a physical therapy clinic up in Northgate. And they've got some really great Ultimate players there as physical therapists who really understand the sport and play themselves. So go check them out too, Real Rehab.
Ellipsis coming in their vertical stack. Tulick getting everything started from the front of the stack. IL forehand to Phillips. Phillips, no pivot backhand to Tulick. Elevator forehand to number 25, Andrews. And a whistle goes, and it looks like a travel happened. It might have been on the reception. Either way, Andrews is going to bring it back 5 yards. And remember, you can't throw it until the whistle blows. The players are allowed to move and allowed to cut, but you can't release the disc until the whistle goes.
How about this Truliet-Cassio matchup here in space,
I love
right?
it.
Truliet trying to come back for it. Cassio wins that one.
Lachlan gets the disc done to him, tries to swing it around to Phillips. Unfortunately, the disc pops over her head. Spalding now picking up for the Cascades. Get everything started, throws it around to space for Munoz. Munoz going up strong. Hard read for Lochnan. Munoz able to go up strong, get that disc. Spalding now with it. Throwing over to Cassio. Cassio able to come down strong with it. Truliet just right there on his back. Dumps it back to Munoz. Cassio Munoz is going to work together. Munoz just outside the end zone, has El Salam in space and puts it.
Munoz, let's go, buddy.
I think one of my favorite duos from the season for the Cascades has been Cassio and Munoz. Just
Cassio
them
Munoz.
working together, both like running down the poles, guarding handlers when they have to guard handlers. As soon as the disc is turned over, they're the two handlers getting everything started,
Yeah.
and they don't stop moving until the disc is in an end
They
zone.
definitely relied on a lot of playmaking ability there, and of course they have it in spades. You know, Cassio is starting everything off with playing some really great dump defense on Tom Truliet, and showing that, you know, once you make them go to their second option, things look a little bit worse.
Yeah.
Tom Truliet having to really clear out there and not getting involved. And of course, the Cascades following up with playmaking ability.
Definitely. 8 minutes, 37 seconds left in the third quarter. Seattle 10, Melbourne 8. El Salam looking to pull for the Cascades. Wind might be picking up just a little bit, according to the flags in one of the end zones. Not sure if that really is a huge factor, but that might have been the reason why the disc sailed over Phillips' head. El Salam with the pull. Egan Griffiths fielding it, going to center it to Truliet. Ma getting things going for the isolation cut. Truliet looks them off, dishes it over to Egan Griffiths.
Got the forced backhand force from the Seattle Cascades.
Have a little scoober over to McGuckin. McGuckin with a big backhand in number 25, Rob Andrews. Rob Andrews running it down. That disc is going to hang beautifully for Andrews to just eat up, and that's an excellent hold by Ellipsis.
We got the sweep hanging on a shelf, backhand up the line. Very nice from Ellipsis.
Seattle 10, Melbourne 9. 8 minutes, 8 seconds left in the third. I think the third quarter might be my favorite quarter of all the games because everyone's just ready to go, like either make their changes or to ramp things up.
You know, I'm just excited to see more Ultimate.
Yep. That too. That's why we're here. That's why you're here. That's why I'm here. That's why the people in the stands are here. That's why the players are here.
I'm happy to talk about it. I really just want to see these teams continue to go at it because they both are playing such a fast and furious style of offense. And they have throwers on both teams who just have no hesitation to put up the throw.
Yeah, so much
And the
experience
skill to
between
back
these
it
two
up.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so much experience, lots to learn from both these teams. Like lots of good fundamentals, how to pivot if you're going to pivot, how to hit this, what spaces to hit on the throw. McGuckin with the pull for Ellipsis. Fan fielding it, not letting it go out of bounds, dishes it over to Titcomb. Cascade starting in a hoe stack. Burton left open in the middle of the field. Has Hauser going deep. Puts it up. He has sandwiched between two players. Unfortunately, just can't quite catch up to the disc. Turnover for Cascades. Good job by McGuckin and Ely for kind of getting a sandwich going because they know that Burton wants to throw it deep to Hauser when he can.
Burton really wanting to hit his favorite receiver there,
Always.
but threw it a little bit too far and not quite open to Brad Hauser. And Brad Hauser's fast, but not that fast.
And unfortunately, first throw turnover, Davey throws it just a little bit behind his teammate, Copland. Burton looking to pick up. Cascades kind of going into the red zone set. Fan going up the line. Burton elects to dish it around to Titcomb. Titcomb trying to direct traffic. No mark on her quite yet. Dishes it to Burton. Back to Titcomb. Titcomb with a big around throw to Fan. Fan surveying the field. Looking to dish it over to Titcomb. Titcomb, zippy throw to Rapisura. Attacks up line. Rapisura electing to go to the break side, finding Burton. Faking the around. And having a vision throw going over to Fan just outside the hands of Diller. And that's I think, not sure what that body language is by Burton. Just like, thank God we scored.
I think he's upset at himself
Yep.
because he threw a turnover to Hauser.
Yeah.
And obviously Burton has really high expectations for himself. But, I mean, give credit to Burton. Like, what a visionary throw by him again.
6 minutes, 40 seconds left in the third quarter. Seattle 11, Melbourne 9.
You know, Burton's got it on the break side. Everyone's looking like, you know, the IOs are very popular nowadays. And then Burton, you know, surprising everyone, looks to the back of the stack all the way across the field. The defender is not really paying attention. Going against the grain. I think that's what Mark Burton's always been good at, and doing it well.
And such a good job of like scanning the field very quickly. He's able to dissect where his open player is, finds that space, and hits it extremely well. If he has to force anything, usually that ends up in a turnover. But if he's no hesitation slinging it, usually it's a good choice. Ellipsis coming in a side stack. Chillett with the disc. Egan Griffiths starting everything going, but we have a player going deep. Cascade's doing a good job of not being too dangerous. Ellipsis just going strong. Number 28, Rosie Dawson, just kind of owning that, going up strong to get that first deep puck. Dishes it over to Egan Griffiths and then attacks the upline space. Excellent quick score by Melbourne. Seattle 11, Melbourne 10.
I want to call out that excellent safe play from both Cascades players, Manson and El Salam. You know, Salam took the backside, did not get in there, did not cause any undue contact, really made that play very, very safe. And that's what keeps the community going strong, so really shout out to them.
Definitely.
The official charity of the AABL. They teach kids about body awareness and cancer symptoms through ultimate clinics around the country.
Yeah, excellent space shot up to Dawson. Just so much space to work with. El Salam doing a good job being heads up. Able to cover that ground pretty well. Manson also able to cover it. Just a little bit of a hang time, but I still love that disc got put up because it's going to make either those are going to be more open later in the game or the unders are going to be more open because you are proving to the other team that you're willing to shoot it deep. McGuckin with the big pull for Ellipsis. Rapisura feeling the pull. Going to center it to Kawhi. Cascades coming out into Hostak. Kawhi over to Burton. Burton around back to Kawhi. Cascades cutters starting out a little bit close. Kawhi finds a nice space shot to Hauser. Hauser looks off. Rodenberg deep. Throws a really tight shot to Fan. Chulett able to just eat that up. And timeout called by Ellipsis. Good call by Ellipsis. They're down one, looking to get this break and tie this game.
Molly, in sports, we always talk about like people getting into their rhythms. When you look at Chulett right now, is he in his rhythm right now?
I think he was in his rhythm earlier. I think he got out of it slightly, and now he's getting back into it. I think that point where Munoz and Casio kind of ran the show, I think that's when his hunger really started to go, and that's when he's decided okay, no, I'm going to get back into this game mentally and physically. I'm going to put up the throws that my team needs. I'm going to clear the space that my team needs. I'm going to do what my team needs. I'm not just going to go out there and run everything. I'm going to do what the team needs. And that's kind of just a testament to the player that he is. He wants his team to win. He doesn't want to just do it to be the star. He wants the team to succeed, and he wants the team to win.
I think I agree with that assessment there. I think a prudent timeout, definitely to recollect, and this is a really important point for Melbourne. They're down just one in a game that's running out of time.
Yeah, it looks like no substitutions have happened for either team. Both teams' lines staying on the field. AUDL rules, you are allowed to sub during timeout calls. but because no one picked it up, anyone can pick it up right now. We're going to have Egan Griffiths picking it up, Laura Manson on the mark for the Cascades. Ellipsis starting out in a vertical stack. We have Dawson on this home sideline, the Cascades home sideline, the one closest to the booth. We have Tulit and Ely downfield. Tulit getting everything started. Munoz guarding him. Around to Egan Griffiths. Swinging it even more to McGuckin. Excuse me, that is Lochnan. Egan Griffiths wide open up the line. Putting up a huge backhand hook to Phillips.
Wow.
Dime.
Oh.
Cascades got caught sleeping that after that timeout.
I think the Cascades, yes, I think they did okay. They could have done better. But Ellipses shredding it immediately with 4 around backhands. And how much wind is there right now? Look at the flags in the background. There's no wind. Mm-hmm. There's no wind happening. And, you know, we got a team who's doing what they do best.
Tie ball game, 11-11. 5 minutes, 19 seconds left of the third quarter. Sun's going down. It's getting a little bit cooler. We're not as sweaty in the booth. Players are feeling good. We have McGuckin with the pull for Ellipsis, about to go. Burton and Hauser back on the field, along with Titcomb, Fan, Kawhi, Rapisura, Gu. McGuckin with the pull now, going up. Kawhi going to field it. Looking to center it to Titcomb. Cascades in a hose stack. Ellipsis doing a good job of getting their defenders in front of the cutters, but a hole opens up, getting it to Fan. Fan finds Hauser. Hauser dishing it over to Kawhi. Melbourne doing a good job of making Cascades like second guess who is open and really having to make all the Cascades player have their head on a swivel. Hauser with the disc and then a cross field forehand to Fan. He's a cutter. He's in the end zone. And that was just excellent slicing and dicing and problem solving by the Cascades. Just need a little bit more clamp down by Ellipsis. Doing a good job of stopping the initial look. Then kind of getting lulled and sitting in that space, not cutting off the next thing. Cascades able to move the ball through all those gaps.
Now, I'm guessing that Ellipses finds more success usually with their zone in the dimensions that they're used to playing. After observing that point, I think they have multiple looks, because it looks like they had a man in the middle, playing the middle, and the man was like playing space, not playing people, which is different than what we've seen before. Again, really interesting to see all these looks from them. Definitely, like we said earlier, one of the players was talking to us. They said, our job is to create chaos, and they're definitely doing that with their sets.
Seattle 12, Melbourne 11. 4 minutes, 44 seconds left of the third quarter. Chulit picking up. Dishes it over to Andrews. Al Salam coming on the mark. Around to Phillips. Garrity on the mark for her. Egan Griffiths now with the disc. Spalding on the mark. Egan Griffiths fighting number 13, McInnes. McInnes throws it around to Egan Griffith. Nice IO forehand over to number 16, Lochnan. And hitting the turf. McInnes, not quite inbounds yet. And throws a blade over to Lochnan. And that's a wow. Still a tie ball game, folks. I like that.
What a huge grab.
That was cool. Huge grab outside the end zone. Looks around, surveys, throws a blade over the stack to their teammate. Score.
And I'm seeing now that Egan Griffiths is the glue that's holding this offense together. She's able to pick it up, and she's got the height, she's got the length. She threatens both sides, and she's such a confident thrower. She'll throw her around backhand just hard and with zip, and that's what it takes to jumpstart this offense. And, their players are going to make plays like that awesome layout that we just saw.
Yep.
But that comes from just, I'm going to throw a break side. I'm going to do it confidently. I'm going to throw it fast. You go get it.
I'll go get it. She went and got it. McGuckin gonna pull for ellipsis. I'm wondering if the Cascades will come in vert stack or host stack this point. Looks like a host stack. Burton gonna field the pull, looking to dish it up to Kawhi, but we got a runner. Excellent work, number 28. Rosie Dawson getting down on the pull. Kawhi finding Fan. Oh, just over the tips of Ma. Hauser with the disc now. Dishes it over to Kawhi. Finding Fan. Finding Burton. I'll look to Gillian. Not quite in the end zone. Or yes, in the end zone. But she decides to be safe and hit Rodenberg. Double score, but only counts as one.
I would go horizontal stack too if I were the Cascades.
Make the spaces for the defenders have to cover even more. Seattle 13, Melbourne 12. Excellent work, use of space for the Cascades, really making Melbourne have to cover a lot of spaces, opening a lot of things up.
Yeah, I think for the Cascades, like the stoppage, the obstacle that they encountered through the junk of ellipsis is over. Cascades shredded that immediately, and now ellipsis has to think about, what are we going to do now, because they just shredded it so quickly. We're probably not going to want to throw that exact thing again.
Yeah,
that's a win on the Cascade side.
Huge shout out though to Rosie Dawson, just getting down on the pole, stopping the first throw. Anytime you can get the offense out of rhythm even just a little bit, that's a win. Fortunately, it doesn't come down in a break for her and her team, but excellent use of taking the lane while running down the pole, as well as just stopping the throw. Chillett with the disc now. Puts it to space to Phillips. Idy on the mark. Manson tight on the back of Deller. Deller has Phillips going up line. And we have a pick call on the field. Phillips will back up 10 yards. Picks are a loss of yards in AUDL rules, folks. And again, can't throw it until the whistle blows. Ellipsis still in vertical stack. A lot of the players are all on this side of the field. Phillips throws it around to Chillett. Phillips had so much space to start going. I was surprised that she didn't start going deep. Locked in now with the disc. Finding Ely. Ely around to Phillips. Phillips just kind of running the show downfield. And I believe Charlie Idy got a paw on that.
Charlie Idy tips it out of bounds.
Excellent mark by Charlie Idy. Gets the hand block. Disc goes immediately out of bounds. Cascades disc. Cassio going to pick up.
Was it Cat Phillips who tried to throw that down the line?
I believe so. Charlie Idy with the disc stuck on the sideline. And stalled. Ooh, it's just a battle between Idy and Phillips right now. And we have a wide open teammate going. Chillett now with the disc. Dishes it over to wide open Andrews. Arrows finding Ely. Ely back to the middle for Andrews. Andrews finding Egan Griffiths. Griffiths finding Deller. Offense kind of getting a little bit disorganized, but starting to clean up a little bit. Oh my goodness! Mark Munoz just going to work. Unfortunately, needs to take an injury real quick, but wow.
What a play by Munoz.
Incredible D by Munoz. Gets the line, makes
Lord.
a safe catch, layout block. Dang.
Looks like he just got the wind knocked out of him, or maybe a cramp, but wow.
Time on the clock, 1 minute, 33 seconds left of the third quarter. Seattle 13, Melbourne 12. Cascades looking to go up another break.
I'm still
that was a good
in
D.
shock.
Munoz decides to take a sub. Repusura now with the disc. Coffin getting everything started. Finding Manson up the line. Manson finds Cassio in the dump space. Around to Palmer. Palmer on the sideline. And a pick is called. Disc is going to go back 10 yards.
Called. This time on the Cascade, who will lose yards and restart play.
Players are allowed 2 moved in between these stoppages. Palmer still have the disc. Coffin getting everything going. Needs a dump. Has Idy. Ely doing a good job not going through with the defender. Idy around to El Salam. El Salam still has Idy at the line. And we have another whistle. Looks like another pick call. Charlie Idy going to go back 10 yards again.
Another pick is called. Loss of 10 yards. Retained possession by the Cascade.
Cascade's going to reset everything. Will Coffin back of the stack, getting everything started. Idy puts it up. Coffin with the disc. Up the line to Idy. To space. No one around her. Charlie Idy, 10 yards outside the end zone. Dumps it back to Casio. Finding Coffin. Finding El Salam. El Salam around to Rapisura. Rapisura doesn't need footwork. Great Cascades. 14-12 for the Seattle Cascades.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some good ultimate being played.
Lots of tight plays by Melbourne, but Cascades able to come up strong, attack all these discs. We have just over a minute left of the third quarter. Wow. Timeout is called on the field.
Just over 1 minute remaining in the third quarter.
Molly, after observing that point, seeing the Cascades punch it in, who do you think has the advantage?
Well, just by the scoreboard, I'm going to say
Yeah.
Seattle, but
Who do you think has, the emotional advantage? Who has the momentum?
I think currently the Cascades, I feel like, especially with that big layout D by Munoz, he's been really tight on a lot of those plays. He needed to take a second, come off the field. He's going to get back out there. He's going to go up strong. The Cascades handlers, I feel, especially on their D-line, are just feeling it. Haven't seen that many mistakes by them that we've seen in the past. Love seeing that. Cutters need to get their timing just down a little bit more, and once that happens, off to the races for the Cascades. Melbourne, on the other hand, I think as soon as they clean things up and they figure out how to mark up against use their zone D against the Cascades host stack, they can get right back in that very easily. There's 11 minutes of the game. They're only down by 2. This is still a super close game for how much time is left.
Yeah.
So right now, Cascades definitely have the momentum, but that doesn't mean the momentum is going to last.
One thing I noticed about the Ellipses team is, all teams have this, and it's hard to point. You talk about intangibles, right? It seems like I've never seen any of these Ellipses players before, but it seems like they really have a joy with playing each other. They are running fast. They're throwing it to each other. They have good teamwork. They're enjoying it. And the Cascades have that too. The Cascades are making plays for each other. Munoz made that huge grab. His teammates are cheering him on, while he's on the ground trying to catch his breath. And both teams really have this intangible. They have the teamwork. They have the love for each other. It's really apparent just from watching these first 3 quarters.
I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because this feels like one of the biggest games of the season where I don't know who's going to win, because both teams have a lot of energy. And it's just one of those classic ultimate games that comes down to the wire, that both teams are battling the whole time. Both teams are enjoying themselves, they're enjoying each other, and they're out here to battle and make each other better. And that's usually why everyone plays.
It's such a big difference, right? These Australian players are here to get better ultimate. They're taking an awesome trip to the States, with some of their best friends. Cascades, same thing. They're enjoying playing on a bigger stage. Just the intersection of all these stories.
Beautiful around throw by Lachlan. Finding Dignam. Looks like there's a pick call or a foul call off the disc.
32 seconds remaining.
Pick call. This is going to move back 10 yards.
Announcer says 32 seconds remaining.
Yeah, third quarter coming down to the wire. Tulip getting initiated. Phillips now with the disc.
5 seconds.
Electing to swing the disc. Tulip with it, swinging it over to number 53, Dignam. Dignam finding Tulip.
10, 9,
Tulip finding Andrews. Clock winding out.
3,
And that's what I couldn't quite hear the countdown,
Yeah.
folks. I knew the time was running out, but I don't think anyone knew exactly how much time was left until that horn just blasted. Third quarter over. Seattle 14, Melbourne 12. 10 more minutes left of the game.
2-point game, closing out the third quarter. And fans, I want to let you
All
know,
right, we are coming up on the fourth quarter. We're going to take a break, and we will see you soon.
may have to put a cap on this game as the daylight dims, but we're working on it. This is a new venue for the Cascades to normally call Memorial Stadium at Seattle Center their home. And in fact, if you're a Coach John Ultimate and want to see more Cascades action is coming your way on Saturday, August 17th at 6 p.m. Our mixed roster will be playing in the Cascades Cup at Seattle's Memorial Stadium under the Space Needle. Great venue if you haven't been there. We'll see you on Saturday, August 17th at Seattle's Memorial Stadium. This is our first time playing the beautiful West Seattle Stadium. But as daylight dims, we may have to make a judgment call here. The lights are supposed to be on, and things don't always go as planned. So we're working it out. Hey kids, all you kids out there, or kids having adults, if you want to get girl someday, or want your kid to get girl someday, check out the Cascades Academy Youth Clinics, coached by Cascades players themselves. They want to teach you the skills to step up your game. The next event is on August 17th at 3 p.m. at Seattle Memorial Stadium. The kids can enjoy the clinic and then stay for the Cascades Cup right afterwards. Check out details at Seattle Cascades.
Welcome back. Just wanted to give you a quick update about what's happening on the field.
So, as y'all know, we are here in West Seattle. It's a new location. It's very special to be playing here. However, we do have a unique challenge tonight. It looks like the daylight is going down, and unfortunately, the venue, we're not able to work out getting the lights on for this game. So, here's the plan. We're going to play until our Western time, 9 o'clock, which puts 5 minutes left in the clock. And then whatever the score is at the end of that 5 minutes will be the final score. So unfortunately, we couldn't play this whole game out, but we did get a large portion of the game in, fortunately, and hopefully the Australian visiting team really felt like they got a lot out of it. I think they are playing really hard, and definitely a few good minutes of ultimate left.
Yeah, definitely. We have 5 minutes left. Seattle up to 14 to 12.
I'm Bren Caldwell. I'm the owner of Strive It Up Lift.
We're going to get Ellipsis back on the field. We're going to have a couple more minutes
Thank
for sure of
you.
play if the lights don't come back
So
on.
I thought it might be an awesome
Cascades
idea
are
for us to
on-
spend a couple of minutes stretching.
I believe offense
Stadiums are rough.
for the
right?
start of this quarter.
Like literally splintery kind of rough
Um,
in the bum parts. So
McGuckin
do me a
gonna be
favor,
the one to
and
pull.
I'm going to have my friends here.
This is
helping
the do or
out.
die moment.
Some
Doesn't
of
matter
my
if the lights
Cascade
don't turn on.
friends
You got to
here
perform for the
stretch
next
with
3 minutes.
Everybody stand up for a moment. I promise you'll feel better. See, it's already better, right? Okay. Standing up for a moment, I want to take a huge breath, and then when you let it out, I want you to go.
Hopefully everyone can hear Ren Caldwell right now.
Ready?
Follow
So
along
big
if you haven't been
breath
standing
altogether.
up. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath in. Let it out. Stretch a little bit,
Let's do that one
especially
more
if you've
time.
been sitting the whole time.
That felt good. Okay, ready? Big old breath.
Ellipsis getting ready to pull. McGuckin.
Awesome. All right. Oh. Okay.
Fan filling the pull for the Cascades. Centering it to Titcomb. Cascades starting out with 4 handlers back.
And it looks like Ellipses is playing a straight person, really trying to force a turnover.
And with a sag. They only have a couple minutes left of the game. Probably now is when to
They turned me down.
go, go, go.
Oh,
Excellent grab by
huge grab
Rodenberg.
by Rodenberg.
And unfortunately just puts it behind Titcomb. Ma with a nice space shot to McGuckin.
And there
And
it is,
that's a-
just like that.
Melbourne 13, Seattle 14. We have about 4 minutes left of the game. Judging by at least our wristwatches, 3 minutes
I
now.
think 3 minutes at this point, and Ellipses really has to push the pace here and get the D team on the field.
I love this.
That was incredible.
This is bringing me back a little bit to Worlds.
Yep.
2018 last year. Semis had to be played indoors,
Yep,
and
yep.
20 minutes total, and then game over.
That was fast and furious.
Yep.
This is I think the ball is in Ellipses court here.
Yeah, you asked me who has momentum. I think Ellipsis has momentum now.
I mean, whatever happens here, I think they can feel really great about the situation. And here is, this is the moment you live for, as Ultimate player.
Mm-hmm.
It's do or die. You've got a restriction. You've got to produce something, and you're on the field with some of your best friends. It's got to be great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes changes and unpredictability will be thrown at you. How can you rise above it? Right now, Ellipsis is rolling it, and I love it. Burton going to field the pull, looking to center it to Titcomb. Titcomb swings it over to Fan. Has Gillian wide open deep, but there's an Ely hanging out deep as well. Titcomb now with the disc, dishes it over into the middle of the Burton. Burton finding Hauser, and I could have sworn that Davey would have left his feet, but I think maybe just elected to be a little bit safe in case Hauser stepped forward. Titcomb and Hauser dish it a little bit back and forth. Hauser finding Kawhi up the line. Titcomb and Hauser both attacking up line. Kawhi elects to swing it back to Hauser, going the other way. Hauser trying to keep, Burton continuing over, finding Kawhi. Kawhi with a interesting high release forehand. And Burton putting up a disc to Gillian, but just a little bit too far. Ellipsis makes sure that it goes into the pavement by laying out and smacking into the ground. About 2 minutes according to our wristwatch. Ellipsis picking it up. Has Ely going deep immediately. Ely planning and cutting under. Disc is swung over to the middle. Back to Davey. Davey finding Ma. Double team by Burton and Titcomb. Ma throws a hammer over the top to Davey. Davey around to his teammate. I can't quite see the letter right now. Back to Davey. Player making a big undercut. Finding Ely instead. Oh, unfortunately just hits the turf, but Deller cannot quite bring it up. Burton picking up the disc now. Finding Titcomb in the IO space. Titcomb with a big backhand fake. Looking to dish it off over to Burton. Burton dishes it back to Titcomb, moving their way across the field. Finding Fan. Fan up the line for Titcomb. Titcomb puts it out to space for Burton. Has a defender in the area. Hauser bringing it down for the Cascades. Seattle 15, Melbourne 13.
What a ride.
And the Cascades rock up another one.
And looks like that's game, folks.
Probably a couple more minutes of action here.
We may have a couple more minutes. Our wristwatches do say 9 o'clock.
Children's Hospital.
Or if they're still playing, we're going to keep commentating.
I mean, okay, what a ride that last point.
Dang.
Seattle, Ellipses had it multiple times. They're really keeping possession alive, and it's a really tough catch. And then from when Titcomb and Burton started giving and going, I think it was just it's over. Seattle's got it. They're playing their offense. They're in their comfort zone. Ellipses is reeling, and
who's there to finish the play? Hauser. Burton's favorite target.
Their finisher.
The finisher. Seattle 15, Melbourne 13.
But if you're Ellipses, 1 point at a time. Stay focused in the moment. And something is happening. Discussion with the refs on the field.
I think they were deciding whether or not to call the game right now based on daylight. Unfortunate circumstances. We're really lucky to be able to go to a different part of the city. Unfortunately, that means the lights sometimes don't come on. Captains, representatives from each team are going to meet out in the middle, make sure everyone's on the same page. But incredible display of sportsmanship, athleticism, and overall just great ultimate has been had tonight.
We may call the game off here soon for safety, but it
looks like we're going to play at least one more point, folks. Looks like it's the last point. Officially has been called last point. If we're wrong, my bad.
Okay, looks like we got some free ultimate.
All right.
Past 9 p.m.
Let's go. El Salam with the pull. We'll do our best to try to tell you who's on the field, but it is getting pretty dark. It's kind of hard to see some of the players' numbers, especially depending on which way they turn after they catch it. El Salam with the pull. Lochnan fielding it. Centers it to Chulit. Tulip over to Andrews. Andrews finding Egan Griffiths. Egan Griffiths in the upline space. I think that's Phillips over there. Phillips around to Andrews. Andrews finding Lochnan. Up the line for Ellipsis. Changing the field, going around space. Surveying, Tulip now with the disc. Great footwork by number 25, Andrews. Back to Tulip. Tulip around to Phillips. Phillips with a big IO forehand to Egan Griffiths. And just can't quite get her paw on it. Cascades have a chance to end this game on a break. Cassio going to pick up for the Cascades.
Wow, really going for the aggressive look there, but didn't quite pay off. A little bit too far away from the offender there.
It was a great look. ID in the lane, doing a great job of getting everything started. Clears out. Disc is swung to the other side. Palmer now with the disc. Palmer centers it to Rapisura. Rapisura has ID. Bidding Phillips. ID putting up a big backhand to Spalding. And Phillips able to catch up, get her hand on it, get the disc back for her team.
Phillips with the fast break.
Finding Lochnan. Lochnan IO to Chulit. Chulit to Phillips. Phillips putting up a big backhand.
Why not?
Floating a little bit. Oh, can't quite get her hand on it either. This is just this is a battle of wills.
This is really
point.
exciting.
Rapisura going to pick it up. Bringing it to the end zone line. Teammates are in a vert stack. Spalding getting everything started as the ISO cut. Spalding with the disc now. Has Garrity going deep. Garrity keeps going. Has a really fast defender on her. Tulip getting it picked up, getting everything moving.
Got some urgency from the Australian offense.
Phillips now with the disc. El Salam guarding Tulip. Great handler D. Egan Griffiths now with the disc. Finding it around space to Tulip.
Wow.
Egan Griffiths now back to Tulip into space. Has Andrews. Ellipsis just kind of in a rhythm right now, and Garrity leaving her feet. Not able to quite come up with it. Ellipsis still has the disc. Davey now with it. Or is that Andrews? It's getting dark, folks. Lochnan. Big IO to Wait, keeping her hands on it. Phillips. Egan Griffiths with it. Fakes the around. Surveying. Wants to be sure that this time. Tulip now with the disc. Doesn't stop. Swings it over to Phillips. Phillips surveying. Dishes it over to Tulip.
Both teams operating on sheer willpower.
And Ellipsis ends this game with an excellent up-the-line cut by Phillips. Throw by Tulip.
Wow.
Game over. Seattle 15. Melbourne 14.
Molly, I don't think I've seen, in recent memory, I don't think I've seen any two teams play with such heart.
This was
that
awesome.
They did in the last point.
I couldn't agree more. This has definitely been a highlight for me for commentating for this season. Excellent display of all shapes and sizes, all people,
Wow.
all over the world, all over the city. Love what we saw here today.
The current mood is like starstruck,
Yeah.
awestruck.
This was awesome.
Really, just such impressive play by both teams. And again, if you're listening on the stream, shout out to all the Australians for supporting, and shout out to the Ellipses for coming out and putting on a great show for the local Seattle crowd. We really appreciate you. Y'all played so hard, and the game was amazing. We appreciate you coming out to our city.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the stream. Shout out to Australia, everyone there. I don't know what time it is, but I know it's past my bedtime. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Great job, players on the field. We'll see you next time. I'm Molly McKeon.
I'm Tommy Lee. We'll catch you later.
Later.
Let's hear it from Melbourne's Ellipsis. Traveling all this way for this amazing showcase game and just fantastic playing from the Ellipsis team. Thank you all so much for being here. hear it for your Seattle Cascades as well. The team's gathering now for what's called a spirit circle, sharing some highlights of the game with the other team, and then they will all come and greet you fabulous fans. So stick around to meet the players, and thank you so much for being here tonight for Seattle Cascades action right here in West Seattle Stadium. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you at Memorial Stadium on Saturday, August 17th.